It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha's Tavo. The question of the week is, what should we be grateful for? So in this week's Torah portion, the beginning of the Torah portion, speaks about when you come to the land of Israel and you start working the field and you have the first fruit. And everyone knows for a farmer the first fruit is like the first baby, which is totally precious, even though every child is important. But there's something special about the first. And God says you're to take the first and you're to bring it to the temple. And when you bring it to the temple, there was two parts that you had to do. One part, you had to actually bring it to the temple. And the second part is you had to recite words of gratefulness, how you're grateful to God for all the miracles that He's done to us. And He's brought us, and the specific language is that we're grateful for what God took us out from the house of Laban, where Jacob was in the house of Laban, the fact that we were in Egypt, God took us out. And now we have our homeland and we have our place that we call home, and that's what we say when we bring the gifts. The Rebbe asks a very simple question. There were a lot of miracles that happened to the Jewish people. Why does the Torah pick specifically the story of Laban, Jacob going to Laban, and why does he pick the story of Egypt? There were a lot of miracles that happened to Jacob, which Esau wanted to kill him, and so on and so forth. So the Rebbe explains, here you see what really God wants from us. The truth is that there's a lot of miracles in our lives. But what was the biggest enemy to the Jewish people? What was the biggest challenge we had? Was when Yaakov went to Laban, he stayed there for many, many years. And that was basically like a long-term, entrenched exile for Yaakov. For Jacob, he was away from his father's home. When the Jewish people were in Egypt, that was a long-term, hundreds of years that they were in exile. That is true exile. What happens when we came to the land of Israel, and we came there, and we took root in the land, we start to live there? That is real redemption. So in other words, Rebbe brings out that what's real exile? Yeah, we all have challenges and tests, but real exile is when it lasts for long. Like Jacob having to go away from his father's house, his parents' house for many, many years, and like the Jewish people being in Egypt. What's real redemption? When we're able to come home and stay home for a long time. So to answer the question, what should we be grateful for? Truly, we should be grateful for everything. But we should be grateful for when we have real peace and real happiness that's not fleeting, but actually permeates in every single aspect of our life. This week's Torah lesson is in memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo Ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated for the Torah that we're studying in their memory. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. For more information on Chabad, please see our website.